Hello and welcome to the show. We're back on F1 2017 following an utterly disastrous Hungarian Grand Prix for me. I'm hoping for much better luck next time. We're going to Spa, of course, a circuit that's probably not a strong circuit for me, but a generally good fun track to drive around, and there's always the chance of weather making an appearance at some point. We don't have any resource points to spend on anything anyway. Of course, our big concern is engine bits. We can probably make it through Spa, just about. We'll make it through Spa without having to start taking penalties, but basically the kinetic part of the motor generator unit is going to screw us over at some point. We're going to probably have to take a penalty in Monza. Not likely to be a good circuit for me. I think it's Monza after Spa. Not likely to be a good circuit for me anyway. We'll probably just take extra components of everything when we do that, start at the back and just go for it. Yeah, we'll make it. We're going to run with these bits for practice at least, and we'll probably shove new ones on come the race. We'll make it through Spa, I think, without any grid penalties. But yeah, it's going to start hurting towards the end of the season. So, as we come towards the end of this second practice session, interesting results. So I'm running very low downforce here. I figured to try and compensate for the lack of, well, straight line speed in the Renault that I go for a very low downforce, and it actually does mean that I am the fastest through the first sector. I mean, admittedly, not too many of us have done times on the Ultrasoft, but yeah, I've been very, very quick through the first sector, which is good news. Awful in the middle sector, although I do know on the particular lap I have here, I know I can go quicker in the middle sector and kind of okay on that final sector. Speed-wise, we're actually not looking too bad. Again, despite having a big mess up in that middle sector, I'm quicker than Hulkenberg, quicker than Kvyat with the Toro Rosso. Perez is faster, but I'm thinking once more the Renault is actually looking like it's going to be pretty competitive here, looking like might stand a half-decent chance of some points, although I thought that in Hungary and things went very badly wrong. But thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the information on DRS 11 races into the season. Well, it has been a surprisingly rain-free weekend so far at Spa. There was a little bit of drizzle in the first practice session at the last sort of 5-10 minutes. It's supposed to be dry all the way through qualifying, despite being, well, a bit murky and a bit grey at the moment. Supposedly a wet start to the race, but will dry up later on. I'm sticking with running my low downforce. That's what I'm going for here. Hopefully, it's all going to work out for me. We will have to wait and see. Oh, I would say the low downforce is working as well. First lap, I've actually got far too much fuel in the car. We've got an extra 6 laps of fuel because I forgot to change it. It was whatever the game left me with. First lap of 48.4. We're only 0.6 of a second down on the time set by Vettel. So I'd say we're looking pretty good here. Although Ocon has gone faster than us. Those Force Indias have got some serious speed at this point in the season. Yeah, we're perfectly comfortable to get through this round of qualifying. We're going to be in 6th, maybe 7th or 8th if a couple of Red Bulls go quicker. Okay, we end up in 9th at the end of the day. Yeah, the 2 Force Indias are going to be, well, funnily enough, as it has been all season, really, we're going to be fighting with them. Hulkenberg makes it through, thankfully. Nice to see Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg, if you could score some points as well, without having to be such in a dodgy race as we had last time, that would be good.
Rich mix is unavailable. Rich mix unavailable.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a promising thing. I'd cocked up this lap and I was getting ready to go again, and Jeff, the magic tape has failed us once more. Well, or is much needed. Either way. Oh, looks like we're going to have a pain in the ass qualifying session. Well, having come into the pits, got some new tyres, got out again, we've got rich mixture working, so I'm hopeful that this is going to be fast enough to put us through into the next round of qualifying. It's felt like a pretty damn good lap so far. Please be fast enough. Please be fast enough to beat those Force Indias. It's a pretty good lap. It is a pretty damn good lap indeed. I think I've cocked up the first corner if I wanted to go again. Yeah, trying to get that first corner right is a right pain in the arse for me. God damn it. Yeah, we got some more speed out of it. Let's go have a look how we are doing. I'm not sure I've got very much more left in that car to find, unfortunately. We are currently sat in 7th. Yeah, it's very, very close. Very close between me and the Force Indias. Hell, we're faster than Ricciardo at the moment. Hulkenberg's in 9th. Yes! Come on, Hulkenberg. You can do it. Yeah, the Red Bulls are not having a fun time here. Red Bulls are not having a fun time here at all. I'm guessing Ricciardo might got more downforce. You could see how fast he is in the middle sector compared to me, but is struggling with that straight line speed. Yeah, let's go and fast forward some time. Indeed, we are through 7th place, only a 10th down on Perez, beating a Red Bull. Hulkenberg's in the top 10 as well. Ocon in the other Force India is also through. The Hasses aren't going too badly here. Well, it's going to be a tough old final qualifying session, but maybe we can get 6th or 7th on the grid. Oh, we've got problems. I haven't got enough sets of tyres to do 2 runs and I'm out of rich mixture. I've already tried heading back to the pits once with this in the hope of getting the rich mixture working. This was the slight issue in going for much in the way of straight line speed with a worn component. I had hoped it would at least get working long enough to let us run qualifying. I'd hoped it would survive qualifying, and then in the race we might periodically lose a rich mixture, but no, we're going to have to do qualifying like this. I'm probably going to be 10th, because as quick as my car is down here in a straight line normally, it's going to struggle. We're going to lose. All of our advantage is going to be lost here because we can't run it in rich mixture, and then we're not going to be able to gain time through the rest of the lap because I simply don't have the downforce. And I make a little mistake on my own through there. It's not looking good for the Renault getting a higher than 10th place starting position, especially when I've seen the amount of time we got left. It's basically going to be this lap, and that's about it. We'll get one more. I just hope that the maximum engine mode will come back and the tyres won't be too short. Oh, okay, well this lap's all gone to hell as well. We're going to get one lap. Maybe we'll get Jeff's magic tape on the case again and give us maximum engine mode, even if we've got some rather worn tyres.
Rich mix is available again, but there is a chance
Yes!
the issue will reoccur.
Well done, Jeff! We might be able to go for it. We'll get one lap at maximum attack, and just maybe it's going to be enough to... I think we've got quite knackered tyres. However, we will give it everything and see what we can do.
Nico's lap times are better than
Ran wide
yours.
out of the final
Nico is
corner.
faster than us.
It's not as good as I managed
Lap puts you into P8.
in the second part of qualifying. It's going to be a 48.2. Could have been better. Yeah, the tyres had done a flying lap and 2 outlaps, essentially. Not in the best of conditions, and I ran wide at the final corner. But Jeff came through. He got the engine working how we wanted it to. Thank God for that. Well, good news. We are in 8th place. Perez was a fair bit faster than us. The Red Bulls have found some pace, and they are a little bit out of our reach. But we beat Ocon. Hulkenberg is a little bit down, but still made it into the top 10. Looking promising. Looking promising, certainly for points during the race. The rain, well, you never know what's going to happen at Spa. So, could work in our favour, although with us being low downforce, likely to be terrifying if it does happen to stay wet for any length of time. Well, as we are heading on our relatively slow formation lap here at Spa, we do indeed have rain. In fact, this will be the first time we've had wet weather tyres during a race. I think I had China, we had a wet qualifying. We've had a couple of damp qualifying sessions, and while it did technically rain, I think, throughout the Austrian Grand Prix, it was only very slight drizzle. It was never enough to require wet weather tyres. So we're starting this race on intermediates. I had kind of hoped, certainly with the way that I'd gone with my car, I had hoped that the slight rain forecast was only going to be light drizzle and we'd be able to get away with starting on slicks. Not the case. We're on full wets. It is going to dry up though, well, hopefully going to dry up relatively early on. So we are likely to get onto slick tyres before the end of the race. And that's where my car will theoretically become stronger. Well, we've had Rich Bitch to brake and fix itself before the start of the race, so it is a very, very Renault-y, FailRace-y race so far. Let's try and not balls up the start. The Force Indias have been very, very quick so far off the line, and I've tended to qualify around them. We've tended to struggle against the Force Indias. If we could get a nice start here, would be really helpful indeed, especially considering my car is likely to be a bit more of a handful to drive in these early stages than the cars around us. It is a little bit slow, the odd reaction time from me there. Yeah, not the best of starts from my Renault. We're going to be in the middle. Oh, locked everything up through there. The Force Indias are fighting one another. I think there might have been someone on the inside. I think it might have given Magnussen a little bit of a bump through, through there early on. I do not want to go too wide through Eau Rouge and up over the top at Raddy on that. Will not end nicely for the Renault. That might be a little bit too slow because I'm not sure I'm going to be close enough to have an attack on Perez, where I was hoping to be able to have an attack on Perez. And we've got big speed down here. Don't really know where the brakes are. Okay, we are going to have a big attack at Perez. Didn't really mean to do that one, but they were very, very early on the brakes. We banged wheels, have somehow made that one stick. Well, that was an unintentional overtake, but there we go. Sometimes they happen to work out like that. Now I've got to be really careful. Don't really know where the tyres are going to be, where the grip's going to be at this stage of the race. And again, this is where we would be struggling under normal conditions with the car. Hopefully, we can stay close enough here that when it gets to the long straights, we can use our, well, I say our straight line speed. I don't know, that's a weird thing to say about the Renault, but we can use the lack of drag, probably the best way of putting it, to maybe make some moves on the Force India. I think Red Bulls are a little bit too quick, and they are going to be very good through these middle section. It's a decent start. We're not really gained much from it, but equally we've not lost anything. So, yeah, I guess could have been worse. Still on the track, and in conditions like these, that's always a bonus. Oh, we've had a good run over the top at Radion. Are we going to be able to get... Well, we were in the slipstream. We've got the straight line speed. Of course, don't have DRS. Am I going to be close enough? Oh, lock the brakes up. I don't think I would have. It would have been a very, very big dive if I had made that one work. And it wasn't really going, I don't think, to be worth it. Just in case Ocon braked a little bit earlier than he actually did. We could have got it alongside. Didn't quite pan out. Two Red Bulls are dropping back from the Ferrari. They look like they might start fighting. If the Red Bulls want to start fighting, slow each other down, and then slow Ocon down into me, I'd be okay with that as a plan. Well, we've got another case of deja vu, although maybe this time we've got a bit more speed than Ocon. I think we might possibly stand a chance of getting this move done. It's going to be a big dive under brakes. We will round up the Force Indias. The two Red Bulls have indeed started fighting one another. Don't put each other off, guys. Or say that. I'd be okay if you do want to crash each other off. Again, easy position for me. We kind of stuck. Let's say we were stuck a little bit of status quo in that I can gain on pretty much all of these cars through the third and first sector, but this middle sector, all the time I gain is then promptly lost. Ooh. What strategy are you after, Jeff? Don't want to pit early. Stick with going later because I want to leave it long enough so that the track can... In fact, the track is starting to dry up now. How long is it going to be? I don't want to pit now for intermediates. That's crazy talk because it will probably get dry and we'll have to stop again. It's how long do we stay out on the intermediates before we can get away with going on to slicks. Now, I might be able to go on to slicks a little bit earlier than the AI cars, although my car is also a bit more of a handful than the other vehicles, so I might not want to.
We think there's a viable strategy change.
What strategy are you after now, Jeff?
To the current plan or try the new one?
What is the plan? Oh, Jeff wants me on... Okay. now. We're going to come in now. This is a real risky strategy from me. On the car that's very, very difficult to drive, we are coming in. Oh, one of the Force Indias has as well. Okay. This is a risky strategy. We're coming in. We're going to get some... the Ferraris has done it as well. Right. They reckon we can go on super softs. It'll be super softs till the end, I think. Everyone's pitting now, so yeah, if we'd left it, we would have been in trouble. Go, 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 get ahead of that Force India. Fantastic. Here we go. What can we do? It is going to be a real tippy-toe around here, though. This is not going to be fun on the opening lap. I've got cold tyres, no downforce, as we then immediate tackle Eau Rouge Radion. I'm going to be very careful because that is wiggly. Wiggly is the official terminology for that corner now. That's... Either way, we've got the tyres on. Hopefully we can get some warmth into them because, of course, the AIs are going to be swapping onto these. Or that they're going to have a lap of awful condition intermediates. Thank you, Jeff. I'm not really worried about DRS. I'm kind of worried about keeping my car on the road. I'm not sure my low downforce plan was a good one just yet. Might come back for us later. That's still the hope. But there we go. Back end is just constantly wanting to move around. Please also say that these cars ahead are going to dive into the pits for tyres this lap around. They've surely got to, because there's going to be no grip in a lap or two in those cars. Oh, I'm under real pressure now from the Force India as well, because I've not got really the confidence needed. We're going to get slowed up by Van Dorn and Wehrlein on the wrong tyres. Come on, guys. Don't really want to do an overtake here, but I also really want to be able to get past. I don't want to get held up. Right, you go hold up a Force India. Thank you. Yes, it is working. The plan is... Oh, it worked briefly. Perez is alongside. Oh, this is going to be sketchy. Don't know how fast you're going to want to take around here. It's an okay amount of speed. Oh, we're going to go to the inside. We should be able to get that move done. All right, we're past Wehrlein. The other McLaren Williams, they are in the pit as well. Where are we going to end up in all of this? Because we've lost some time fighting. Unfortunately, lost some time fighting with those two, I say backmarker cars, slower cars. They weren't really in the fight with us. We have leapfrogged Ricciardo! We're up into 6th. Will Ricciardo get past Perez, or will Perez leapfrog him as well? I'm still not brave enough to be flat out. I think I probably can be flat out up there. Oh, God damn it, just as I wanted to start going push because we've got some fuel. I always make sure I have a little bit extra fuel so I can stick it into Rich when needed. Okay, thanks, Jeff. I'm not really worried about Raikkonen at the moment. We've got Ricciardo behind us. I don't know where Verstappen is. He may well be... he might be... Oh, he might have come into pit for the tyres at the same time I did on that lap 3. Not sure. No, I think they both went round. He could still be stuck out there on intermediates. That would be an unfortunate thing for him. The grip is coming back to us now, which is nice. I think we might be able to. We might be able to give the Red Bull some trouble because he'll be very, very quick through here. But as long as I don't do that too often, he's going to have a real tough... I don't care about tyres, Jeff. You did just see I very, very nearly binned the Renault, right? I don't care about tyres right now. Oh, this is going to be really dodgy for a couple of laps, but the plan is working so far. Ooh, okay. So, interesting. Verstappen did stay out for way too long. Eichwitz set fastest lap, then Perez set fastest lap. Grosjean's got fastest lap now. So, yeah, basically constantly changing. We've found ourselves in 4th place. I don't know who the other car was that didn't pit when all the rest of us did. Whoever it was is going to tumble down the order on those terrible intermediates. Because, yeah, I'm pulling huge gaps through this first sector, and then we all get caught later on, but we're so far sticking ahead of Ricciardo. I am starting to create quite the train behind me, because, well, we've got Ricciardo, we've got Perez, there's a Williams in there, there will be a Verstappen, and I think a Bottas at some point are going to catch up to the back of this. But Ricciardo is unable to get anywhere near me through the first sector. By the time he catches me, he can't get past me, and then we're back to the first sector again, which is, yeah, working out perfectly fine for me to be able to fend off the Red Bull, and he's then backing up Perez, and it's not going to be long before they start fighting with one another so much that they potentially start slowing each other down more, and life might work out okay. I've just got a lot more laps to make sure we keep the car on the road, don't have a big sideways moment down here, because this is where we are very, very vulnerable to that Red Bull. I've really got to stop hitting that curb on the inside, because that's what causes the problem. As long as I defend well enough here, Ricciardo doesn't really have much else in the way of options for getting past. So that's what we're going to try and continue to do. And so the great Renault train continues. It is lap after lap, almost identical things are happening here. Ricciardo unable to pass. I've actually got rich mixture available briefly that I'm going to use to try and make up some time. Ricciardo can't get past, and I will slow them all down in the middle sector. It's kind of working. No, Hulkenberg! Really? Things were going so well for Renault again, and now he's out. Reliabilities of some of these poor Renault engines. Oh, Verstappen's gone. He's, well, that's playing true to form almost. All we need is Bottas to break down. We've had the trifecta of unreliable cars out of this race. Good news for me, Perez has actually got past Ricciardo. As predicted, they are now starting to fight each other, slow each other down. He's even helping me out even more. Fourth place might even be on the cards, but I really shouldn't say that just yet. We might be in a small bit of bother this time around. I was not so good off the first corner, and I've got a Force India right behind me, and the Force India will have DRS. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. The Force India much faster in a straight line than the Red Bull, but he's going to have to go a long way round. Now I'm going to force him to take that long way around. We will hold on to the position for now, but we were nowhere near as far ahead as we have been previous laps. A little bit alarming for me, but we've kept hold of the position. I've still got the fuel to keep the car running in rich mixture. Jeff, do not fail me with that magic tape. If we lose rich mixture, we may well lose to the Force India down that the Camel Straight. But for now, we are okay. For now, we continue to soldier on in this fourth place. Looks like we might have to be defending into the final chicane. I was never really worried about the Red Bull trying a pass down here. I've been fairly good under brakes as well into this final chicane, so we will once more keep Perez behind us. One more lap to go. This is all we have to do, is just not make a single mistake around the course of this lap. Get off turn one nicely. Better than last time around. Good. That's what we needed to have for the Renault. The podium is miles gone. We've got nowhere near the pace of the Ferraris or of the Mercedes, but we have got this pace in the right place around the circuits to cause real trouble for the cars behind us. Perez will be catching, but he isn't close enough this time around to have a look. But we've used the strength of our car. I know it's still strange to me to say that about the Renault, however, that is how it is going. We've got rich mixture to go to the end of this lap. Don't lock a wheel, don't run wide, because if I do make a mistake here... Oh, okay, well, we've lost rich mixture, but we've done the important bit. Well, just about the important bit. If we make a mistake here, we're going to lose a lot of places. So, yeah, hold on for dear life through these fast corners. Defend from the Force India almost constantly, and maybe we will be able to make this work. Perez is trying around the outside. It's not going to happen there. Yes, Ricciardo, fight with the Force India. Slow each other down through that section. It might just get me far enough away. Don't put a wheel on the sand. Oh, we're okay. We're okay for now. Hamilton has taken victory, but I've got no rich mixture to defend from these cars behind, but this is a very difficult place. They're not going to want to go too wide, so we are going to park the car on the apex into the final chicane. We are down into second gear. Force India is going to try and make it work, but he's not done it. Run towards the line, and we are going to take a fantastic fourth place.
That was a fantastic drive.
Oh, what a bloody race that one was. For the large part of the race, I had to defend lap after lap using what straight line speed I had. I'm not sure that was the best way to go on setup. However, it worked. I'm not sure if we'd got a different direction, if we had a little bit more downforce for that mid-sector, whether we would have been able to do what we did there, because while we might be quicker through the mid-sector, I think we'd just be annihilated down the straight. So, it's, at the end of the day, it worked. Not going to be a podium, no, not going to be a podium. The Mercedes and Ferrari were far too quick. It wasn't going to be able to compete with them. But I will take a 4th place. I will take a 4th place in all of that. Ricardo would end up 6th. Grosjean did pretty damn well, actually, up into 8th. Massa got up to a 10th position. Yeah, unfortunately, Verstappen broken, Hulkenberg broken. Bottas ended up in 9th. He just got stuck in traffic and couldn't make any progress, having left it far too late to come into the pits. In fact, actually, just interesting turn of events after all of this. If we go into the standings, we are going to move ahead of Verstappen in the drivers' standing. Perez will overtake Massa as well. It was a very successful day here. Very successful day here at Spa. Constructors-wise, Renault will jump ahead of Williams. We aren't quite able to catch Force India, though, because, again, it's solid points for Force India here. Well, they got 5th and 7th place, and with Hulkenberg broken, not so helpful for us. I think I can just about maybe breathe after that race. Let's go have a look at the replay. We'll see what happened to Hulkenberg and Verstappen. Well, a bit of a shame, actually, with Hulkenberg. Actually had very, very good pace once he got onto the slick tyres, overtake a lot of cars, but it was a big, big, smoky engine explosion as he came across the start-finish line that would have the Renault, well, very much. I was surprised how far it kept going with the engine belching smoke, but that was it. And that was Hulkenberg out of what was going to be a pretty decent finish. I think he would have scored points. At pretty much the same time Hulkenberg engine lets go, Verstappen was trying to recover from the terrible pit call, stayed out way, way too long, and something would give up on his car. Not a big smoky explosion, this one. It'd take out one of the braking ports as well, but yeah, that would be the Red Bull out. Nothing spectacular with their various failures, but there we go. That is going to be it for this video from a much better Belgian Grand Prix. A decent recovery for the Renault after such a terrible time at Hungary. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.